Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited to film this video for you guys because I feel like it's something I've been working on for kind of some time, and it's ultimately what I would like for you guys to get out of this channel. But this is probably one of the most important videos that you're going to want to watch, because I'm going to be telling you guys exactly how we can actually teach self-development to our children, and these small things that we can change in our daily lives that can have so much of an impact that we don't even know it. Kids nowadays are developing all kinds of things such as ADD, ADHD, depression, anxiety, crazy stress, all of that. And it's very much related to things that we do on the daily that we don't even realize, or that our kids do on the daily that they don't even realize and we don't even realize. And small things that they do every day have such an impact on their health. But some of the things that I want to share with you in this video are key exercises that relate to breathing, daydreaming, visualization, for reframing, which I'll tell you a little bit more later, asking great questions, thinking even, embracing failure. All of these things are going to have a tremendous impact on your child's life. So with that, let's jump right into the video. Okay, so my first topic is going to be about breathing. Now, this seems kind of crazy to think about because children are already breathing, like when they're in the womb, you know, like obviously they're gonna know how to breathe. Like they're breathing in there, they can breathe out in the world. Breathing is just breathing, right? That's what you're probably thinking. But as children get older, as we even get older, you probably can be helped out by this too. We tend to breathe rapidly, number one, and two, we tend to breathe through our chest. But the correct way to breathe is actually through your stomach. Now, I'm definitely not wearing the correct attire to be showing you this, but what we want to do is breathe all the way out through our stomach and do that slowly instead of breathing through our chest. And over time, if you practice this during the day, it will definitely impact your sleeping habits as well. One, this is going to reduce your heart rate, which is consequently going to reduce the amount of stress and anxiety you feel, and ultimately improve our quality of life. Now, if we teach this to our children at a young age, they'll be able to develop this and make this a habit. And I've talked about habits in my previous videos, so if you want to go watch those. So that's a big one. Breathing is definitely very important, and it's going to help them reduce stress and anxiety. My next topic is going to be visualization, and kind of like a side is daydreaming. I feel like the two go hand in hand, especially when thinking about children, because children daydream a lot. Like they're often like a daze, like in class, at home, anywhere. They're daydreaming all the time, and they have a lot of creativity flowing around in their brain. And usually teachers will be like snap out of it, like, what are you doing? And you know, reprimanding this behavior. But we don't want to do that. We don't want to take our kids away from daydreaming and visualizing, because that's where all the creativity is happening. If we stop the creativity from happening, we're just going to dull out our children, you know what I mean? So we have to instead ask them, what are you thinking about? Like, tell us, like, share with us. And that's what we should be ultimately teaching in the classroom as well. But that self-development is not currently part of the curriculum in our education system. That's a whole nother issue in itself. Anyways, but yeah, daydreaming, we want to encourage. Obviously, we want our kids to be responsive and fully there when we're talking to them and like when they're trying to engage in a certain task, but we don't want to necessarily reprimand them or punish them for daydreaming, because daydreaming and visualizing is so important. Visualizing is the way we achieve our goals. If we can see something, if we want something and we visualize it so clearly, it's going to help us take the necessary tasks to achieve that goal. So it's very helpful in goal-oriented processes. My next topic is going to be reframing. And I feel like that goes hand in hand with a lot of things that I talk about, especially when I think in my previous videos I had mentioned helping our children understand that instead of looking at a situation and picking out the bad parts, we should be picking out the positive parts rather, and showing ourselves what good came out of a situation. Even if you deem a situation bad, what can we take away from this? What can we learn from this? And that's ultimately what reframing is. There's a famous quote by Thomas Edison, and it perfectly exemplifies this scenario. He says, "I have not failed. I have successfully discovered 1,200 ideas that don't work." Duh. Like, that's perfect. You have to take every situation and say, okay, well, this is not a failure. I have learned something from this. Just reframing every single scenario, whether it be during a sports event or a bad test grade or a bad breakup, or even when they're younger and they fail to do something the first time. Well, now you know how to do it next time. My next topic is something I feel like it might be a little bit controversial. Not really controversial. I saw this tweet. I think his name was Tim Krausen, and he's one of the big people that want to implement self-development in schools. And he tweeted something like about kids meditating, and like people went off in the comments. And you know, they were saying like, how can you even teach a kid to meditate? They can't even sit still. Well, sometimes I can't even sit still, and I still meditate, and it's so helpful for me. It helps me sleep better. It helps me reduce my stress. It helps me to keep focused during the day, which is what we need, especially during this day and age when technology is thrown at you from all over the place. It's no wonder kids are developing ADD more and more and more, because this is the age of multitasking. You can't even keep focus for 10 seconds without thinking about something else. But we need to teach our kids to slow down and learn how to be able to slow themselves down, even for a moment, because it's going to help them focus. Focus on doing one thing at a time rather than doing trillions of things at a time, because honestly, that's what they're teaching in schools. How to be okay at everything rather than be very good at one thing. We don't even know how to help our kids focus, and they aren't teaching that in schools. But we can do this at home. We can, start it from the get-go. If we're teaching these things at such a young age, they are going to be so beyond ahead of the game you don't even realize. And even if it's just something that you start doing as like part of your nightly routine, like brushing your teeth, have them, you can even do it as like a family thing. You, your spouse, all of your kids, and just sit down and stay quiet for just a few moments. And if you want to start out by putting on a song, maybe when they're younger, like a lullaby or something like that, but we want to start getting them into it at a very young age, because again, then that way it'll become like a habit, and habits are hard to break. But we want to establish good habits so that we can have those good habits, and they'll be hard to break, so they're just going to keep wanting to do that. I think people who start to get into meditation as they're older find it really hard, because they're like, what do I do for 10 minutes just sitting here? Like, I'm bored already, But just look at it as if it's something like part of their night routine. Taking a shower, brushing their teeth, meditation. Incorporate that in early on, because I'm telling you, you are going to see the benefits. They're going to be performing better. They're going to be listening better. They're going to be focusing better. Their stress is going to release. They're going to be calmer. And it's something we want to instill at a young age, because it's going to be hard for them to incorporate this into their daily life when they get older. Just so this video doesn't get too long, because I already see that it's at 15 minutes and I really don't want it to get too long, I'll probably make a part 2 of this, But I want to end with embracing failure. Embracing failure, because failure is going to teach you more than success, honestly. Because failure teaches you how to not only do something the right way, depending on how many times you fail and the extent of the failures, but it also teaches you to get back up again. It teaches you to have a strong mentality, to try again and again and again. And those are the things that we need to incorporate into our children's lives, because failure is inevitable. You will not go a day in life without failing at something. We can't be good at everything, but we can try, as long as we're giving that attempt at trying, and as long as you as a parent are telling them that it's better to try than not to try at all, and it's better to, I guess, praise their tries rather than their successes, because trying is more beneficial than succeeding. Because succeeding it's almost like a fake. We're not always going to succeed, but we're always going to have to try. And that's something that we want to praise and we want to acknowledge in our children, because we want to teach them that we're going to have this mentality. You're going to have to be a strong person, because one day life is going to knock you off your feet and you're not even going to see it coming. But if we instill this kind of mentality in our children, it won't hit them so hard. We have to sort of teach our kids to be stronger, not just physically, because at some point physicality is not even going to matter. It's going to be a mental game, and we need to teach our kids to be stronger mentally, and that starts with self-development. And I think this should be taught in schools. Some of this stuff is more important and teaches you more later on. Like, for example, this is the stuff that we need to be teaching them. This is the stuff that's going to matter. But until then, until that gets put into the school system and our curriculum, what we can do is teach this to them at home. So that's going to start with you. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you learned something, and I hope you enjoyed this video. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.